Hello, this is Randy Small, Whatcom County Weather, and I'm going to give a quick thunderstorm update about the potential of the possibility of seeing some lightning here and some thunder later today into tomorrow. But go over a couple of things. I haven't done this for a while, so hopefully up to speed on how to do this. Quick check of the temps here before we get into the specifics. We have some smoke issues, as we have talked about on the page today, but we do have temps that have reached already into the mid 80s. 86 in the foothills, 81 at Bellingham, 80 in Blaine, 79 out by Birch Bay, and of course 60s on the water, as would be usual. Not a whole lot of wind, a little bit of southerly, maybe westerly flow. So not much to speak of other than a warm day for sure. Quickly moving over to the satellite here. We'll just put it into motion over the last hour and a half. Or a couple hours, I guess. You can see the clouds beginning to stream in. And when we had smoke earlier today, that streamed in from the Fraser Valley outflow, and I showed that on the page here. I'll bring this up again real quick. But you can see this right here. If I pull this up full screen, you can kind of see the smoke coming down the Fraser Gorge. We must have had just enough northerly flow that forced some of this smoke down. I actually had checked the other day, but not yesterday, to see if we were going to have any more smoke. And I thought with the upper level low and the disturbance coming that, we wouldn't have much issue. But wow, was I wrong on that? And you can see even this in this picture here earlier that I put up. You can just see it coming right down in towards us and all this smoke up in BC. So but air quality currently not the greatest, especially in like the Sudden Valley, some of the foothills, Maple Falls. It's kind of holding its own. Sumas not doing the greatest, but in this part of the Fraser outflow, but it looks like it's kind of sagged in here. Either that, or we're getting some smoke that has come in from one of the fires east of the county, or east in the eastern Whatcom County area. As you can see, the air quality is bad over there, but I think a lot of this just came in from the north. I don't know what this reading 4637 is out on Orcas Island, but you can see that it's not terrible at the surface here, but in the foothills, Sumas, Everson, but down into Sudden Valley, kind of the Highway 9 part of that Malbaker Highway corridor, not very good. So, and even on the road cameras on my, by the way, my new website is up, whatcomcountywx.com, and it is all official and launched. We're still working out some bugs and finishing up some links, but you could see the smoke up on some of these cams. And then if you look at the Mount Baker webcam, this is Mount Baker usually here from Ferndale, Cascadia Elementary. It is not looking at all like it's out, so not a good thing. But I think with the change coming, we will see a fix of that smoke. In fact, I don't even know if these models picked up that smoke, at least originally. Just looking at the 18Z from today, I mean, this isn't even near surface. This is integrated from, in a column from the surface up. It wasn't showing anything this morning. As you put this into motion, it does, and it might be coming from this fire right here, because now originally I think some of it might have come with some northerly flow, but maybe I'm just missing this, because this whole area right here got hit and it's not showing. But as we go in, continue on, some of this smoke must have filtered in from the fire, the Kings fire. I think it's the Three Kings fire, with a southerly or southeasterly flow, and kind of pushed up into this area. And now here, this is 7 o'clock tonight. Well, we already had about that much come in this way. And then you'll see the south flow start to push some of that out, but here comes a little bit of another batch tomorrow morning. So just this kind of the season we're living in right now. So you see that smoke, I think originally coming from the outflow area, but now coming even from the southeast, from some of the fires down by Snoqualmie Pass. So let's talk thunderstorm chances here. Let me just click on to my other the weather bell here, and you can kind of see here on the Euro 12Z today, you can kind of see our upper level low, and then it kind of passes itself over to, I guess, without kind of its own disturbance, its own little by itself, come out of that upper level low, and off it goes up across kind of the Olympic Peninsula as we go into Sunday. But you can see it here off into the coastal waters Saturday morning. This is about 8 a.m. or is 8 a.m. And that's going to create some potential for thunderstorms. And you can kind of see it if you look here at the northwest view. And actually, I probably should look at the northwest view. You can kind of see this a little better as this disturbance kind of passes on up over towards into BC or eastern Washington and then up into BC. But as you look at the upper level winds, you can kind of see this upper level low spinning, and it's pushing these winds out this area off to the east, so to speak. And that creates some flow off the mountains or into the mountains, as you can see. And this is way up. This is high level winds. But you can kind of see the flow is southerly, a little bit southwesterly, but southerly there. One thing I'm not seeing is a ton of southeast. I'm sure there is some. If we look at, different heights, there might be some southeast flow coming off, but that's really what you need to have a good thunderstorm. And I'm not sure that, it's kind of southwesterly here as we go, later into Saturday afternoon. There is a little bit there of southeasterly. And that's really the component you need to get a good thunderstorm. So I would say the setup is definitely there for potential of some isolated thunderstorms. But at this point, I can't say this is a big outbreak. And they have targeted our area for the possibility, Whatcom County, as I'll show you in a moment. And if we switch over here, here it is, to the 12Z Euro for just looking at the lightning flash rate per hour, you can kind of see some, possible thunderstorms on this afternoon. And by the way, I'm recording this on Friday around 1:35 p.m. is when I started, and I failed to say that at the beginning, but I'll get that in the official clip. But you can kind of see some mountain and even a little bit in the Olympics, Eastern Oregon. As you go in, into the evening hours, there's wanting to see some here on the Victoria, Vancouver Island, up into, north of Vancouver, up in the mountains. And then as we come into Saturday, we got some offshore and a little bit here, a little bit in the Olympics. As we go into early Saturday morning, that kind of dies out. And then the main, I guess, event would be here we go. And some of these are probably going to be dry thunderstorms popping up around 11 o'clock tomorrow. And you kind of see here into the, mountain area over in northeast Washington. And then around 1 o'clock, you kind of see action in our mountains, kind of down here, Skagit, Whatcom, but also, or Foothills Mountains. Well, look at here over in eastern Washington. And then you can kind of see this as we go into later Saturday afternoon. It kind of dies out, but then just overnight hours, it wants to give a little bit more. And then by the time it enters basically the early morning hours of Sunday, chances diminish. Still stuff up in BC and northeast Washington, but that's kind of what the Euro is showing. But this is not a major, doesn't look like to me, a major outbreak. I think the Euro's probably trended down some with this. If we look at the flash rate on the latest HER 18Z, you're seeing some potential here as we go into Saturday morning. But, just not I don't know, definitely some potential for the northern half here of the area, and then obviously eastern Washington. And then actually I want to pull up one other. It's kind of the experimental new, lack of a better way of saying, it's not really the new HER, but it is in one sense. I think it's going to be switched out for this one, but they call it the RRFS. So I guess it is a new. It's the one that's taken its place. But if you look at just the reflectivity here as we back up, you can kind of see shower chance here as we go overnight, and it's kind of got this bowing line. I've seen that on several models, but a lot of mountain area here as we go into Saturday morning, and mountains, and then here kind of north of Seattle, the north area of the Weather Forecasting Office of Seattle, NWS Seattle. You see all this. It's kind of showing shower activity as we go into Saturday afternoon. I mean, that gives us at least a little bit. Totals it's going to be sporadic. It's going to be erratic. There could be some gusty winds, especially in eastern Washington with this. Some of that's going to be dry lightning. Over here, potential for some wetting rains with it, at least in our area. But you can kind of see the possibility and the potential for a little bit of a thunderstorm for sure. But I just don't know. It's a nowcast, and it always is. The National Weather Service kind of calling for... excuse me, I got to back this up. The upper level disturbance making its way into Saturday morning into western Washington. Chance of shower thunderstorms. We'll talk about the fire weather watch in just a moment. It's the low moves into South BC early Sunday morning. Chances of showers and thunderstorms will continue north of Seattle with a thunderstorm threat, and we just saw that coming to an end in the overnight hours. Early Sunday morning is what that's saying. So again, they're talking about the possibility of thunderstorms. We'll see, but just wanted to kind of get you an update. One other thing I wanted to point out, let me switch real quick back to my other view here, my other window. If you go over here, you will see, and I think you can see most of this, but we do have a general thunderstorm risk today, really into our area. And then tomorrow it's expanded. Almost all of the state is in a general thunderstorm risk. Idaho and part of Idaho and part of Montana is in a marginal risk. And then I wanted to note down here the fire weather outlook. Today is just an isolated possible dry thunderstorm in the mountains, basically. I mean, it does push it close to the lowlands, foothills, mountains. So there is that slight possibility of a dry, isolated thunderstorm and an isolated thunderstorm today. Tomorrow has a scattered dry thunderstorm outlook in our mountains all the way into eastern Washington. North, kind of Wenatchee, Spokane's included in it. And we can actually click on this and see that a little better. But that's a scattered dry thunderstorm fire weather outlook. We'll post this in a bit. And then also in addition for tomorrow, we have just a general dry thunderstorm outlook as well. I'm not sure why they've issued two of these, but because, unless one has been updated, because it's kind of, I think, for the same time frame. Not sure about that, but unless this is just the most recent one, you can see they've kind of upped it into the purple. So... anyway, we shall see what happens tomorrow, and we'll keep an eye overnight. We'll keep an eye on radar, and we'll do the best we can with this potential storm. And if anything materializes, we'll try to get out and cover it as well. I think that's enough for today now, and maybe I'll try to get back to doing some of these, even some live streams here and there. Okay, have a good day.